one of the mother of one of the surviving roommates, so reminding our viewers, there were two roommates who were upstairs and survived this, told a reporter that those roommates heard something that night. Have you been told? Have you heard from sharing with other relatives of the other victims what that was exactly?
No, I would say for us that we did hear those rumors, but right now we can only leave it at that. None of that has ever been confirmed to us.
We have not spoke with the roommates.
Yeah.
The surviving roommates, and they were downstairs, just to clarify that for you, sir.
Ah, okay, downstairs, right, on a different floor from where it appears where the murders took place.
According to investigators, Dylan described herself as being in, quote, frozen shock when she saw a man inside her home in the middle of the night. She was so scared, she locked herself in her bedroom. But the thing that raised eyebrows is that nobody did anything about it. In fact, 911 was not called until noon the next day, about 8 hours after the estimated time of the murders.
We're also continuing to follow developments on a homicide investigation in Moscow. We now know the names of the 4 University of Idaho students killed at an off-campus home over the weekend. Nicole Hernandez, with our sister station in Spokane, walks us through the developments and a timeline of events.
So police still have this house here near University of Idaho taped off. This right here is where officers found 4 bodies yesterday. We now know the names of those 4 students. They were 20-year-old Ethan Chapin from Conway, Washington, 21-year-old Madison Mogan from Coeur d'Alene, 21-year-old Kaylee Goncalves from Rathdrum, Idaho, and 20-year-old Dana Kernodle from Avondale, Arizona, and they were all University of Idaho students. Here's a breakdown of the timeline from what we know so far. Around 1 p.m., we heard reports of a homicide investigation near the college campus. An hour later, the school put out an alert on social media. It said Moscow PD is investigating a homicide on King Road. They asked the community to stay away from the area and shelter in place as a precaution. Around 3 in the afternoon, Krem2 arrived in Moscow. Neighbors said most people living in this area are a part of Youube Greek life or students. At around 5 in the evening, the Moscow Police Department confirmed they had found 4 people dead, but it wasn't until late last night that they confirmed those victims were students. The university also said Moscow police do not think there's any active threat at the moment as they continue their investigation.
And welcome back to the news at 4. We are continuing to follow developments out of Moscow, where 4 University of Idaho students were found dead inside of an off-campus house on Sunday morning. And today we learned an edged weapon, such as a knife, was used in the homicides. We're also learning the FBI is now involved in the investigation. The Moscow police captain says they are still looking for a suspect, but they believe this was an isolated, targeted attack, and there's no imminent threat to the community. Andrew Bartline is live in Moscow, where he spoke with students and staff on campus. Andrew, what they have to say?
Well, first we'll start with some of the nuts and bolts here. We know that the latest agency responding is the FBI. We got that confirmed through the FBI. Typically how that relationship works is the local agency requesting it and getting them to come in response. So they'll assist with things like forensics, physical evidence testing, and technical assistance. That's generally what the FBI does when helping a local agency. We did find some Idaho State Police people on site this morning. The Latah County Sheriff confirmed that to us. When we asked these ISP folks if they're all with ISP, we were told some of us, so that might put the FBI coming to town into context. Additional information we've gotten from Moscow police, they say no other injuries outside the 4 people killed. The unconscious person that Moscow police originally responded to is one of the 4 killed. So these two things together shut down a lot of speculation that we've been beginning to hear. Police are searching for a suspect. That's confirmed through the department, and cannot speak to further details about the suspect and what this process looks like. They include that there is no suspect in custody, and that's what we've known from the beginning, but they also say that the community is safe. Now, these are two things that hand in hand seem conflicting to students and even staff, people that we talked to walking around campus today, and they say they would like to feel safe, but you just can't force it, and it doesn't seem that way.
I personally didn't know the people, but I'm definitely like uncomfortable coming to school. Like I have class today and stuff. So that's a little bit unsettling.
I still don't feel entirely safe when I don't know all the information that, they probably do know, they're just not telling us.
The police could be more forthcoming about details.
Especially since, it happened so close to campus. And there's so many people here that could be potential victims.
Yeah, I don't want to have like both my AirPods in because I don't want anyone to like attack me or anything. I'm like, just being more wary of anything, really. It just feels a little bit dangerous.
It's safe and no suspect. I'm just confused about what's going on.
Like, there could be someone still of threat around campus. I don't know. That doesn't really make anyone feel too safe around here.
Just that statement of, don't worry, you're safe.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything for you?
No, it definitely doesn't. It feels just like fake.
Well, the police say they're not going to release any information that would compromise their investigation. That's what they've told us from the beginning, or any information that they feel would compromise the investigation or the ability for any subsequent prosecutions. And of course, we heard the students say that they don't feel safe. They also say that it doesn't feel the same, that the campus feels empty. One person even told us that it kind of feels like what the campus was like with COVID as well. So, Shira, a lot of the students around here that would like to go home early for Thanksgiving, as we've previously reported, a lot of them have, especially in this neighborhood. Well, some say they have to stay for academics, and they don't feel very comfortable right now doing that. But the police are telling them they're safe. But again, this information feels conflicting to them. And we're still pushing to try to get more information to make sense of these two data points. Shira?
Yeah, still so many questions out there. All right, Andrew Bartline live in Moscow.
Ended up sitting down with Bill Thompson in his office. And remember, they had not identified a suspect, and a lot of people were wondering, are they going to solve this? And it was one of his answers to me that made me think they know a lot more than what they're saying.
Would you feel safe having a child living near or on campus?
I would, but I say that knowing that many people would not. And I'm probably in a, I'm in a different situation because of the information and the knowledge that I have.
Okay. And are you? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry to find the question. They were at like I want to say 1-ish p.m., 1:30.
Okay. So shortly after the police were called, then, in other words.
Yeah, they came almost instantly.
Okay.
It was a big deal.
Okay. And are you? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry to find the question. They were at like I want to say 1-ish p.m., 1:30.
Okay. So shortly after the police were called, then, in other words.
Yeah, they came almost instantly.
Okay.
It was a big deal.
Last year I was a nose guard.
Okay.
So.
All right, man. Here's your phone. Thank you. Hey, so,
Finish dumping stuff. I'll tell. You already told her about noise?
Yep, already told her about noise.
Well, I'm not going to warn you guys for noise because you don't live here.
Yeah.
But I would probably strongly suggest that anyone else that's left here, if they don't live here, y'all should probably leave together.
I'll let them know.
Cool.
Thank you, guys.
Because if not, I'm going to come back. And I don't think you want to. You don't. I'm not saying you are.
We were just,
they were here.
This.
They went to a party.
This would not be the first party I've ever gone to where the people who live here leave. Yeah. And just let people stay. Why they do that, I don't know. That to me, that would be stupid. I'm not going to let people stay where I live, and it's responsible. Oh, I know. Trust me. Like I said, I've done this for 22 years, man. I get it.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, we'll go let them know, and then I'll make sure.
And just let them know I'm not going to stand out here and wait for them to come out and try and give them MIPs or anything like that. But in the same term, tell them not to leave with alcohol.
Yeah.
Because that's the first way you're going to get us to contact you.
Yeah.
Don't do stupid shit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure it's not the first time you've heard somebody say, don't do stupid shit and the cops won't touch you.
Yep.
Be smart. Don't be stupid. Don't draw attention to yourself. Right?
Yep.
Cool.
All right.
Last year I was a nose guard.
Okay.
So.
All right, man. Here's your phone. Thank you. Hey, so,
Finish dumping stuff. I'll tell. You already told her about noise?
Yep, already told her about noise.
Well, I'm not going to warn you guys for noise because you don't live here.
Yeah.
But I would probably strongly suggest that anyone else that's left here, if they don't live here, y'all should probably leave together.
I'll let them know.
Cool.
Thank you, guys.
Because if not, I'm going to come back. And I don't think you want to. You don't. I'm not saying you are.
We were just,
they were here.
This.
They went to a party.
This would not be the first party I've ever gone to where the people who live here leave. And just let people stay. Why they do that, I don't know. That to me, that would be stupid. I'm not going to let people stay where I live, and it's responsible. Oh, I know. Trust me. Like I said, I've done this for 22 years, man. I get it.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, we'll go let them know, and then I'll make sure.
And just let them know I'm not going to stand out here and wait for them to come out and try and give them MIPs or anything like that. But in the same term, tell them not to leave with alcohol.
Yeah.
Because that's the first way you're going to get us to contact you.
Yeah.
Don't do stupid shit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure it's not the first time you've heard somebody say, don't do stupid shit and the cops won't touch you.
Yep.
Be smart. Don't be stupid. Don't draw attention to yourself. Right?
Yep.
Cool.
All right.
they're all mostly students, so the campus officers can figure out who lives here, and then honestly, it's a lot worse for them, come to the door.
Hey ladies, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
We're not actually. I don't
You don't know who lives here?
No, I don't.
Here for noise complaints.
Show her in.
Come to the door, guys. Send whoever lives here down to the door.
Good, how are you? We're not actually. I don't know who lives here. No, I don't.
You guys haven't been drinking or anything, right?
No.
Okay, drive careful, okay?
Thanks.
Folks, we're talking about how search warrants work. The first thing you need to know is the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution requires search warrants to be issued only on probable cause. Police have to prove probable cause through an affidavit. That's a sworn statement. That can also be supplemented by testimony in front of the issuing judge, usually a magistrate. At a minimum, the affidavit needs to provide, number one, a description of the place to be searched, and that's got to be fairly specific. Number two, the items police expect to find there, and it can't just say evidence of a crime. They've got to be kind of specific about those items as well. Third, it's got to state why the police think they'll find the evidence they're looking for there. And it's got to tie that area to criminal activity in the recent past. If it doesn't, it can be invalidated. Based on that, the magistrate decides probable cause, which for a search warrant is whether there's a fair probability evidence of the crime will be found in the place to be searched based on the affidavit. So, if you've been served with a search warrant or you're the subject of a search warrant, here's what you need to know. Even if it's served on you, it can still be invalidated later. If you contest it and a reviewing judge agrees the search warrant's invalidated, you can have all the evidence in your case as a result of that search warrant thrown out of evidence. That can get your case dismissed.
Hello, I'm David Roger, General Counsel for the Las Vegas Police Protective Association. Today I want to talk to you about the plain view doctrine. The case is Coolidge versus New Hampshire, a U.S. Supreme Court decision. And the plain view doctrine is an exception to the search warrant requirement. And there are three elements. One is the officer has to be lawfully in a position to see the item. Two, the item has to be immediately recognizable without further search. It has to be recognizable as either evidence of a crime or contraband. And three, by seizing the item, you can't intrude any further on an individual's privacy. So let's take an example. Let's assume that you've responded to a DV call. You're lawfully in the residence talking to the individuals trying to figure out what happened. And you look over on a coffee table and you see a big plate of methamphetamine. Obviously, you don't have a search warrant. You don't have a search warrant that authorizes you to seize the items. But under the plain view doctrine, you are lawfully in the residence. You see the item in plain view without having to search for methamphetamine. It's out in the open. And you can seize the item without doing any searching of the residence. And so under the plain view doctrine, even though you don't have a search warrant, this search warrant exception allows you to seize the items that are in plain view. I hope this helps. As always, please feel free to contact me with any legal questions at droger@lvppa.com. And of course, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting the subscribe button after watching this video. Thank you very much.
All right, so how does the plain view exception to the warrant rule work exactly? So anything in plain view may be seized by police without a warrant, so long as the police are lawfully present at the location from which they see the item. Also, it must be immediately apparent that the object is unlawful or of some incriminating value. For example, if your car is, say, parked on a public street and the police peek through your window and see drugs on the passenger seat, the officers may then recover the drugs, as they were lawfully present when they observed your car on the street. However, if the drugs are concealed in, say, a brown paper bag, and you and/or your car is parked inside your closed garage, for example, then the drugs are not in plain view and may not be seized without a warrant or your voluntary consent.
No, it was the evidence was gotten, illegitimately. However, we can't do this because if we do not say this evidence without a warning is useless, then guess what's going to happen? Policemen are going to think somebody's guilty all the time and just ransack everybody's house and they'll find the person, and whether or not they find evidence, nobody's going to be safe. If policemen know that they cannot enter a person's house and get evidence worth anything, meaning if they know that entering a house without a warrant will make everything they do worthless, they're not going to bother doing it. If they think it's going to do something, they're going to try it, and then a lot of people are going to lose their freedom. So we must, in today's society, we must say that evidence without a warrant is going to be useless, even though we know the person's guilty, because we want to protect society from illegal searches from police. So the only way to discourage it is to make sure that whoever does these illegal searches, he will not be able to use them at all. So the bottom line is always, if you can, get a warrant before you collect evidence. So that's enough for this lecture. And at the very least, as a little bit of a recap, you should know what a first responder has to do, what he is and what he has to do. Know it and be able to identify, secure a crime scene, make sure you know where the entrance and exits are. Know how to search. Remember to record with notes, sketches, photographs, and all that. Identify the evidence. Write it down. Know how to package it. And don't forget, you have to collect other pieces of evidence that are relative to the actual evidence you collect. The substrate controls, the places around it that might be related to the evidence to know whether it really is evidence or just another part of the house, let's say. Remember, you need a warrant. Do not collect without a warrant. Do not collect any evidence. Do not enter someone's house without a warrant. You're going to make everything useless. So get a warrant. For those who want to know about the homework, these are the homework problems of the book.
Under her body, partly under her comforter, on her bed, likely left there by the killer.